Hey, good day to you all. Astrology of the Soul, Tarot for Life. Want to pull out a tarot card for you Libras for the month of April. And let's see what's going to be happening. If you're watching this on Instagram or on Twitter, do click on the link and you can watch the full video on my YouTube channel. Let's give these cards a good shuffle and let's pick a card for you Libras and let's see what's in store, what kind of energies it is you're going to be working with in the month of April. Okay. Let's go. So Libra, you have the Temperance. The Temperance is a very interesting card because it does have a kind of Libra element to it, although this is a card that does belong to Sagittarius. So this is a card about, you know, it's mixing and blending. So for you Libras, the month of April is going to be about mixing and blending. Also with this card, very often there is a implication of travel. So for you Libras out there, it could be that you could be traveling this month of April, or perhaps you're planning or you're booking to travel. You know, you're doing two things at once. You're merging with two worlds. That's what this card is really about. It's really about sort of like connecting with two worlds and making something happen in your life that is connected with two different things. And you're having to balance. So you're pouring from one world into another. So you're doing a bit of work, you're doing a bit of play, you're doing a bit of travel, you're doing a bit of meeting, you're doing a bit of, and you have to sort of like mix it. So it is going to be a bit of up and down. So this card is also about taking things into moderation, making sure you're not doing too much of one thing and too little of another. So making sure that your outpour, what you're pouring your energy into over the course of this month, you're not overdoing it, you see. So it is about balance. This card is also about patience, because it's indicating that the month of April, it's almost like, imagine you're cooking something, but it hasn't finished cooking yet. So you're in that cooking stage. This is a alchemical, one's going for an alchemical stage where something is still brewing, something is still cooking, and it hasn't quite finished yet. So there's some kind of patience. You've got to be careful, you see. Something's cooking, maybe you're pouring a little bit of water in there to make sure that it's still moist, and that's with the pouring. So you're still doing the alchemical stuff. You still need to put a bit of salt, put a bit of seasoning, and you're mixing. And that's what this month is about for you Libras. It's about mixing. And the travel, the reason why travel is injured, because when you're mixing, you see steam and is coming out from that. So that's the rising, and that's the flying, and that's the traveling that's involved, hence why the traveling. So with the Libras, throughout the month of April, you may feel like you've got land, one foot on land, 1 foot in water. Again, because you're mixing, you're neither here or there. If you notice with her, she's got 1 foot on land and 1 foot in water. So there is something about merging the two worlds, you see. And one needs to be cautioned about overdoing. Yeah. So there can be implications of travel. It's about mixing and blending, doing a bit of this, doing a bit of that. You know, that's what you have to do. You're neither here or there. You cannot lay your eggs in one basket in the course of this month of April for you Libras. And that's what this card, the Temperance, is about. You see, moderation, patience, you see, mixing and blending, learning how to steer that vehicle. And once that is put in place, the month should be quite good. So even though you do go on holiday, or you do go away, or you are planning planning to go to a place, the likelihood is that you'll be going away, but you'll still be, it may not be necessarily the most pleasurable, the most fun of holidays. It's not like you're just going to be going away and partying. It's very, very likely that you're going to be going away, and maybe while you're away, you're working as well. So you're having to juggle both. You see, there is got a juggle element to it, you see, and that's what it's about. So it's the advice around it is, do be careful not to do too much of one thing and too much there. Share it out, balance it out, you see, and that's where we get the moderation. So on that note, you Libras, have a wonderful month. And, you know, I mean, April is predominantly, for most of April, it belongs to the Aries, which is the opposite sign of Libra. So that's interesting. I think there's something definitely in that is telling us something about that balance, you see, because Libra is the opposite sign of Aries. So it's always complementary. It's always balancing out the Aries, the Libra-Aries axis is always, they're always trying to balance out each other. So this card is also about being tactful, being diplomatic, you know, in your endeavors throughout the month of April. On that note, have a great month, you Libras, and I'll be with you next month to let you know of how the month of May is going to pan out for you. Thank you very much.